What is up, guys? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my main event breakdown and prediction for UFC Louisville. We got Nassourdine Imavov going against Jared Cannonier. And yeah, as always, going to be breaking down the fight, making a pick, and then talking about this fight from a betting perspective. It looks like we have a decent amount of lines out, a decent amount of props out for this fight, so we'll talk about it here. Before we get into it, if you guys could, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and be on the lookout for the full card breakdown and prediction video, which will be out soon. 14 fights this week, so a lot of work went into this week. It's a bittersweet, 14-fight card because there's so much fights to look into, but got all the research done just now. I need to record that and get it out to you guys. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, back to this fight. UFC Louisville, Nassourdine Imavov, Jared Cannonier in a middleweight 5-round fight. Let's start with Nassourdine Imavov here, who is 28 years old, 6'3", with a 75-inch reach. He's 13-4 and 3-1-1 no contest in his last 5 fights. That no contest coming in the Chris Curtis fight, in a fight where he was winning. And then Jared Cannonier, 40 years old, 5'11", with a 77.5-inch reach, 17-6 and 4-1 in his last 5 fights. We'll take a look at the odds, and we have a closely lined fight, which is the theme for this UFC Louisville card. We have a ton of really closely lined fights. So they opened it up a straight pick'em, minus 115 each way. Imavov looks to now be the favorite at minus 130, and then Jared Cannonier, the very slight underdog, at plus 110. And it's kind of crazy, but Jared Cannonier, 40 years old, but he's one of those guys where I feel like he's doing his best work at the latter half of his career. I mean, Jared Cannonier, in some of these performances as of late, he's looking like the best he's ever had. I mean, that performance against Marvin Vettori was probably one of my more favorite performances from Jared Cannonier. It's probably between that, and I really liked his performance in the Derek Brunson fight. But yeah, he went out there and just beat the brakes off of Marvin Vettori for the most part of that fight. He hurt Marvin Vettori on several different occasions, and quite frankly, if it was anybody other than Marvin Vettori, I think he would have finished, the majority of the division in that fight, because he hurt Marvin Vettori badly. He landed 241 significant strikes in that fight. And it's crazy, like Jared Cannonier, 40 years old. You look at the way he's built, he's completely jacked. Like, this is a guy that you would think he doesn't have 5-round cardio, but he does. You would think that he's not extremely high volume, but he has been. He went out there, like I said, 241 against Vettori's crazy. Like, that is crazy volume. 141 significant strikes in a win against former champion Sean Strickland. Had 90 against Adesanya. And yeah, I'm just looking through the career of Cannonier. His last 2 losses come against Adesanya, which there is no shame in that loss whatsoever. And then the other loss was against Robert Whittaker in a fight where I think he broke his arm like late first round, second round. So yeah, Jared Cannonier at 40 years old is still going. I think he has a lot left in the tank, which is wild to say, but I think that's the case. Nassourdine Imavov is going to have some serious advantages here, though, in terms of the tail of the tape. Like, this guy's 12 years younger. That cannot be ignored. He's going to have a 4-inch height advantage. He's going to be the bigger guy, but it's actually going to be Cannonier with that reach advantage, about a 2.5-inch reach advantage. I really like the striking of Imavov. I really like the volume he brings to the table, and he can mix in takedowns here and there as well, but 25 minutes to work with. He did just go 25 minutes against Roman Dolidze in a fight where he looked really good. Dolidze wasn't really competitive really at any moment in that fight. But I'm kind of worried about the cardio of Imavov. We've seen him slow down not only in 5-round fights, but 3-round fights as well. He slowed down big time in the Buckley fight. Buckley was coming on in the 3rd. He looked physically exhausted in the Jordan Williams 3rd round as well. And then even in the Dolidze fight that went 25 minutes, Imavov definitely slowed down, but it was Dolidze who was just even more exhausted than he was. So I think Jared Cannonier is going to have the cardio advantage here. I think Jared Cannonier can absolutely go out there and put up a lot of volume, and he hits hard as well. So, yeah, this is a fight that I think the opener was about right. Like, I think this fight should probably be a pick'em. And for me, I'm kind of leaning Cannonier. Like, is Imavov going to go out there and wrestle Cannonier? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it for a couple reasons. The first reason is Jared Cannonier does have pretty good takedown defense in the middleweight division. And if Imavov was to go out there and wrestle, does he have the gas tank to wrestle for the full 25 minutes? I highly doubt that. So I do think this fight is primarily going to stay standing, and I think it's going to be a competitive striking fight. But as the fight goes on, I do like Cannonier more and more, I think, here. So I'm going to take Cannonier to win this fight. I'm going to take it to win by decision. I'm not sure what's up with the middleweight division in these 5-round fights. It seems like if there's a middleweight fight that is scheduled for 5 rounds, it's more often than not going the full 25. And I think a lot of that has to do with Sean Strickland is in the division, Israel Adesanya's in the division. But yeah, a lot of these 5-round middleweight fights, they're going the distance. Like Cannonier went the distance with Vettori, Imavov went the distance with Delidze. It's like a 5-round curse with these guys. So I think this fight is probably going 25, and I think it's going to be competitive. So unless Jared Cannonier shows up and just all of a sudden falls off a cliff, which, I have to see it first. Like he's shown zero signs of slowing down, in my opinion. Just zero sign. If anything, he's looking better than ever at 40. So yeah, give me Cannonier here to win. It is a dog or pass fight for me. Jared Cannonier looks like, plus 105, plus 110. I see a plus 108 out there. I don't mind it. And then in terms of like the props, I think I'm staying away. Let's see. They set the total at 4.5 rounds, which again is crazy for, these two guys who hit very hard and are decent finishers. It's just, I think this fight is probably going the full 5 rounds. So the over 4.5 is minus 160, and the under 4.5 is plus 130. I think it does go over, but I don't want to sweat 22.5 minutes of these guys going out there and landing hard shots on each other. But yeah, I would lean towards it goes over. The fight goes the distance is minus 135. I would lean towards it going the distance, but none of those prices entice me at all. Maybe like Cannonier late props potentially, but I really do think this is going to decision. Let's see what these decision prices are, and yes, they are all over them. Cannonier by decision plus 215. Terrible. Imavov by decision plus 190, just horrible. So yeah, I think my favorite spot is probably just that Cannonier money line there. So yeah, Cannonier money line is probably my best bet for this fight. Probably might get there. Maybe like a Cannonier 4-5 decision as well. We'll see where that opens up at. But other than that, not a ton of interest in it. I think the line is almost accurate. I think it should be a pick'em. So give me the dog here in Jared Cannonier. Not a ton of confidence. It's not, you can't have a ton of confidence in a 40-year-old, but I do like Cannonier to go out there and make it very competitive and win this fight over 25 minutes. Which another thing that scares me is I think this fight does go to decision, and some of these scorecards have just been ridiculous. At UFC 302, that was probably the worst event I've ever seen in terms of some of these scorecards. So yeah, that's something you got to worry about as well. And it's just another reason why I'd be on the plus money, just because these judges, they're so inconsistent. They're terrible. They've been horrible. Just another reason I would lean towards that plus money, but it's not something I'm just running to the window for in this fight. But yeah, give me Jared Cannonier and Jared Cannonier to win this fight by decision. Let me know down in the comments what you guys have in this one. Are you guys on the Imavov side or the Cannonier side? Are you guys looking at a money line? Any props sticking out for you guys? Because I'll be honest, no props at all for me. I think these totals are all completely juiced. I don't like it. And even these decision props, they're not enticing prices. So yeah, I'm not enticed whatsoever by any of these props. So I'm probably going to just be money line or pass on this one. So yeah, guys, that is about it for me. Best of luck for UFC Louisville. I'll be out with the full card breakdown and prediction very shortly. And yeah, guys, like, subscribe, and see you guys later. Peace.